as we get over the halfway mark of the playoffs, and we look more towards unrestricted free agency, and the next fight that people can pick with me. Like in the comments, I'm like, wait, what? So, yeah. Anyways, the love that people feel for the team they cheer for is strong this time of year, and the passion, I admire the passion. But free agency. So we got free agency coming up in July. I apologize for the facial hair. I haven't shaved in the last couple of days because I was sick yesterday, and then today I didn't go to work, so I didn't do it. It won't stay. I got my new Carolina hat today. Very happy that it matches my jersey as well as it does. That was the plan when I ordered it. I was like, all right, I got the jersey, now I got to get the hat to match, and I did. So we're going to talk free agency. Sorry, Hurricanes fans, I'm not talking about Carolina right now, but now I have the outfit for Carolina videos, so we're good. So the number one free agent on the list, of course, is Shattenkirk, and everybody says Shattenkirk's probably going to end up going to the Rangers. And they point to Yandel's 7-year, $44.45 million contract signed by the Panthers. It could happen, but I honestly think that Shattenkirk's going to end up getting paid way too much money. Shattenkirk is a very good defenseman, don't get me wrong. But when a guy gets saddled with that kind of contract, it's very hard to live up to it. And I don't think the Rangers are a Kevin Shattenkirk away from being a Stanley Cup champion either. But I could see, they also mentioned in here, Tampa took a run at him at the deadline. That would be an intriguing option, although I don't know how Tampa could afford him without shedding a bunch of other players. And the Devils and the Leafs are also mentioned, because, of course, the Devils, their blue line desperately needs a puck mover, and the Leafs, they could use a veteran puck mover in there as well. Number 2 on the list, TJ Oshie. I can't see Washington bringing him back. The emergence of Burakovsky as a top 6 forward has definitely allowed them to just let Oshie go. There's always a wealth of prospects coming up for Washington, so what they can do is they can replace Oshie with a lower cost third line option rather than bringing Oshie back for that kind of money. Since Oshie's only 30 years of age, I can see him getting a lot of money, and I'm talking $6 million plus. I know he talked about how he'd like to be back in Washington, but realistically, from the money side of things, yeah, I can't see it happening. I don't know where Oshie goes. There's going to be teams that need some scoring up front, who are willing to part with a lot of money to get him. Oshie's a good scorer. He's a good player. Again, he's getting up with a really big money contract, and that changes things when you have that really big money contract, because then you're being counted on as the key guy. Alex Radulov, $5.75 million cap hit this past season. He's 30 as well. He's going to be looking now for that longer term contract, probably a 4 or 5 year contract. I can't see I can't see him getting more than 4 or 5 years. I can't see anybody giving him an 8-year contract, which is the maximum length of contract. And I can't see Montreal keeping him unless he's willing to take the same amount of money that he made this season. And I think he wants more. He's a very effective player. He seems to have matured quite a bit since his Nashville days. But again, somebody's going to tie up a lot of cap money in Radulov. I could see Vegas coming into this picture. Something tells me Vegas, with their wanting to immediately contend, to show their fan base they're serious about getting more into a playoff position sooner rather than later, and that's what McPhee has said all along. And McPhee has said as well he wants a mobile, talented team. A guy like Radulov could fit in with that. So, we'll see what happens, but I could see that being a location for him. And number 4 on the list, showing just how thin this list is Martin Hanzal. Hanzal's 30 as well. Hansel's play with the Wild, I think, will probably drop his value a little bit. I don't think he's going to make that much money. He's a better third line forward than second line forward, I think. He had good numbers in Arizona because he was getting played a lot. His numbers dropped in Minnesota. I think for the right price, he could be a real value signing, but we'll see what kind of market he drives. Carl Alzner, 28 years of age, had a salary cap hit of $2.8 million. He's going to get a lot of money. He's going to get a lot of money because he's a top 4 defenseman. He's 28, and those aren't often available. Alzner, I think, will probably get a deal in the $4.5 to $5 million a year range. I don't know if he's going to be able to justify that because, again, he's a defensive defenseman. What he does isn't sexy on the score sheet. I've always liked Alzner. I've always liked his game quite a bit. I think whatever team picks him up, I think it could be a signing along the lines of what Chris Russell was for Edmonton. Where at the time, I think people are going to look and go, that's a lot of money for him for what he does. And then in hindsight, they're going to say, well, that was a good deal. So, which is what happened with Russell in Edmonton. Joe Thornton is on this list at number 6. Thornton, this is pretty easy. He's going to take a pay cut. It's a matter of how much. I can't see Joe Thornton playing anywhere but San Jose. I just can't see it. Can't see it. And apparently in January, Pierre LeBrun reported that Thornton wanted a 3-year deal and the Sharks wanted to go year by year. Michael Stone is a free agent out of Calgary. His cap hits $4 million. He's 27 years of age. I don't think his play in Calgary is going to increase his value either. See, some of these guys, when they get traded at the deadline, their value goes up. I think of like Patrick Eaves in Anaheim. It's easy to put up goals in Dallas and for people to say, oh, well, you know, he's getting decent ice time, but Dallas is having a crap year and it doesn't really matter. But in Anaheim, you know, with the depth they have and the fact Eaves was able to hold his own, I think Eaves has driven his value up. Stone's done the opposite. I think Stone's going to have to take a pay cut, and I think I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if he stays in Calgary. I wouldn't be surprised because they do have Wideman and England going off the books. But I don't know how much you pay for him either. Sam Gagner, this is the danger Will Robinson. This is the hands flapping all over the place. So Sam Gagner, 27 years of age, $650,000 salary. He's going to get a lot of guys looking at him because he hit 50 points for the first time and he hit 18 goals for the second time in his career. But the reason Gagner was available for $650,000 is because he wasn't playing very well. And that was through more than one organization. I think Gagner, if Columbus can find a way to get him on the books and get him under that cap, he'd be wise to stay there. I think of Anson Carter. Anson Carter had a great year in Vancouver and then decided he was worth more money, went to Columbus, and he was out of the NHL within 2 years. I don't think Gagner is going to end up out of the NHL in 2 years, but I don't think he's going to experience as much success somewhere else as he had in Columbus. Columbus is a perfect spot for him. So I hope he stays there for his own sake. Patrick Eaves is 9th on the list I mentioned before. Patrick Eaves, bargain at $1 million a year. He'll get more money. I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in Dallas. I think Dallas really liked him. I know that I was really happy with him in Dallas. He has very good chemistry in Dallas. Good chemistry in Anaheim, too. He's just a very good glue guy. I could see him ending up either in Dallas or staying in Anaheim. He won't score 30 goals again. That's gone. But he's a good player, and he's worth a $2.5 million a year deal. Very good player. Even when he's not scoring, he's still useful. Number 10 on the list is Justin Williams. Cap hit of $3.25 million. He's 35 years of age. I think, while they say Mr. Game 7, confident leader who survived hockey's good, bad, and ugly, he's a good player now, but he was part of that Capitals team that fell apart in that Game 7 against Pittsburgh. And he wants to stay in Washington. All of these guys in Washington who are up, they all want to stay. They can't. The salary cap dictates that they can't. I think he'll go. I could see the Kings bringing him back. It would be tricky because they want to get faster and younger. And Williams is neither. But Williams is one of the guys that helped them win 2 Stanley Cups in 3 years. And that can't be overstated. I could see, he's the kind of guy that I could see, if Jim Benning thinks that they're close, I could see the Vancouver Canucks bringing him in on a 3-year deal. I don't know what they pay him, but I could see them bringing in a 3-year deal. He's a right winger, and he's a solid veteran, and I could see them bringing him in. But we'll see what happens. Number 11 on the list, Radim Vrbata. He had $1 million contract for the year. 20-goal campaign. Slowed down towards the end of the season. I think he could end up staying in Arizona. I do. I think Arizona could one-up him, or could up his contract and keep him. I can't see him going anywhere else. He even said at the end of the season, this is where we want to be as a family. This is where I want to be as a player. So as much as other teams that need scoring may want Vrbata, he plays best in Arizona. He really does. Number 12 on the list is Patrick Marleau. Oh, he's going to get a pay cut from a $6.67 million. And again, I can't see him playing anywhere except San Jose. So if he decides to stay in the league, he stays in San Jose, takes a pay cut. I could even see him and Thornton getting together and agreeing on what they're going to do. Much like Solani and Correa way back when they went to Colorado for a year, which was a mistake by both of them. But I could see Thornton and Marleau saying, we're going to take one last shot at this in San Jose. We're going to take a pay cut so they can bring guys in. Very selfless players at this point in their careers. Andrei Markov is number 13. Apparently he wants to stay in Montreal. I think the Canadiens are interested in bringing him back. They have room for him. His cap hit this year was $5.75 million. He won't get that this year. I don't think he expects to. Markov is a very effective defenseman. He's okay with what he does. And if they drop him down to, let's say he signs a $3 million deal, that opens up about $3 million in cap space for Montreal to go out and sign somebody. And I think that could happen. Ryan Miller's at number 14 on the list. He's played 709 games. I was in the crowd for his 700th game. That was kind of fun, actually. 358 wins, 39 shutouts. He had a .914 save percentage in Vancouver. His $6 million cap hit, he's not going to earn that again. Miller apparently wasn't interested in a deadline move to Calgary. It says here, a deadline move to Alberta. Well, I can't see Edmonton wanting him, so probably Calgary. And then they say if a deal in Vancouver can't be worked out, a handful of other teams, such as Philadelphia, Buffalo, Winnipeg, Calgary, and Vegas, could look to add a goaltender. I don't know that Philadelphia would look to add a guy who's 36. Philadelphia is looking for somebody who's going to just stop that rotating goalie situation there. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. Michael Del Zotto's next on the list. He made $4 million this season. I can't see him getting that in his next contract. Del Zotto, he tantalizes you with his talent. He has talent. It's there. You can feel it. You can see it. And then some nights he's just invisible. And it's one of those frustrating things where if he can ever develop that consistency, if he can ever be the player that he looked like he was going to be as a rookie, then Del Zotto is a top 4 defenseman on almost any team in the NHL, and he's a really, really good defenseman. And I've always liked Del Zotto. I don't have a problem with Del Zotto at all. So I guess we'll see what happens there. But I can't see him staying in Philly because Philly has too many good defensemen coming back and coming up. So I think he's the odd man out. I could see Edmonton being a location that Del Zotto might end up with. And I could see Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh really likes picking up players from other organizations that they've given up on and turning them into winners. So Del Zotto kind of fits that mold. I remember Justin Schultz in Edmonton was kind of miscast, and it looked like he was never going to fulfill his potential. Goes to Pittsburgh, and it's lights out. He's fantastic. Chris Russell's number 16 on the list. I think he'll stay in Edmonton. I think he was a free agent for so long, and I think he waited so long for the offer from Edmonton to come in and to find something he was comfortable with. I think he'll want to stay in Edmonton because they took a chance on him, and they gave him a decent contract too, considering he didn't play the whole year. So, I mean, that's good money. And finally on their list is Thomas Vanek, proving just how thin the free agent class is this year. Vanek had a 1-year deal. You're banking on him getting back to what he was. He's 33. He had a decent season, but he didn't play very well in Florida after a trade from Detroit. So there's no guarantee that Vanek is going to produce. It's more of a matter of Vanek produced well in Detroit. I wouldn't be surprised to see when he becomes a free agent to see Detroit give him another offer. Another 1-year offer, because he seemed to get along well with the players. He seemed to fit their system really well. Anyway, there's the top 17 of 2017 as according to Sportsnet. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And it's the free agent class as it is. A lot of the big name guys have already re-signed, already found new homes, or signed to stay where they were. So, and of course the new homes are guys like Ben Bishop and Scott Darling. So, this is how the free agent class works, and there could be other guys who come off before July 1st rolls around. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all again soon.